A letter to the girl who wrote the suicide note I keep in my desk. Dear, I'm sorry. Dear, please don't let this ruin your life, dear. I am not strong enough, dear you. In April, it will have been 2 years since you dated this note. The day when breathing was like moving mountains and crying was like breathing, so natural, so thoughtless, so you don't even know why you're crying, so you cry even more, dear you. You watched as people fell like flies to their own strength, like that of pulling a trigger, or like that of squeezing a razor blade tight enough to hold grip, but not tight enough to leave a mark on the palm, and you stood above their caskets crying, trying to understand just something. But you always came up too short. Dear girl, I don't really know what to say to you. Nothing can change who you were or what you did, it's in the past. But I watch as time passes on the clock and always return to thinking about you. Empty thoughts, every sacrifice made, but not one was big enough. Dear girl, they always said you wrote too much sad poetry. Like all the words were just a little too invasive, and somehow they were right. But somehow they did not understand that if you finished a poem, it was not one of sadness. Because if you finished a poem, you were alive long enough to write the final line. So no matter what the content, if you were alive long enough to finish it, the words were not made of tears. They are made of muscle tissue, getting stronger every time they are performed. They are telling your depression to F off, and your suicide to hold off for another 5 more minutes, dear you, dear girl, dear me. Dear me. The letter in our desk is all too familiar, though we wrote it 2 years ago, but oh, how we are still here to write a poem about it. How we've learned to call nothing a miracle, but everything destiny, like this poem, or that note, or the girl who wrote that note and the girl who's writing this poem. How they are so different, but so similar. How both of them know what endings look like, but are still just so bad at writing them. How no matter what the content, there's appreciation in the final punctuation mark. Everything has an ending. And you, girl, chose to keep writing, and we are still writing about the things we never imagined existing, like graduating high school, or getting married, or adopting a dog and naming him Zeus. He, girl, will become the love of your life. See, we are still writing, and we are leaving periods after every word. Not having decided how to end these stories. Nothing, girl, will do your story justice, period.